Hey everyone, so this is Catfish season 8, or season 9, episode 8, Aaliyah and Paula. So, Aaliyah is 23, Paula, um, is 23, from Tennessee, um, met Paula 4 years prior, when she was 19, Paula was also 19, and they met through Instagram, um, and, so where Leah is living in California, it's not too far from where Paula moves to, which is LA. So they get her on Zoom call, onto a Zoom call, and so she's like, "Well, I'm a car salesman, and um, I met Paula 4 years ago through Instagram, like I said." Started to DM, then started to text, um, and then we find out that for Paul or for Aaliyah, Paula's the first girl she started to have feelings for. Um, they sent, sexy selfies to each other. They were still talking on the phone, like, or they were talking on the phone for a long time, and as per usual, and then so, but she would never video chat or whatever. So, um, so she once in a while disappears on her social media. Like once in a while, her social media would disappear, but they would still talk on the phone, and text and stuff. And then all of a sudden, one day, um, she actually disappears. Like she stops texting, calling, and all this stuff. And so apparently, they have a mutual friend named Jordan, but they're solely internet friends. And um, she contacts, or Paula contacts Aaliyah through this mutual friend Jordan, and then um, Paula had made a second, or like another, social media account on Instagram, um, and and stuff like that. So um, Aaliyah, then shows Nev and Kamie photos of Paula and the text they sent each other, plus an account Paula's reaching out from before she gets out of Zoom. So they suspect Jordan is very suspicious because he is the one who put out there. Like that's what Aaliyah says. So they then start their investigation. They look at the photos, which are two of them, and they don't find anything. They look at the new profile of Paula's. See Jordan is following both of them, which is not new, which is not surprising considering Paula said that he was a mutual friend of both of theirs. Um, they sent him a message, and searched the numbers. The old one doesn't really yield anything. And they look up the new number, and there's this name, Karina, that comes up. Um, there are a lot of Karinas looking on Facebook, so they can't really do anything there. Neither decides to call the new number, and Cammy suggests to ask for Karina and not mention Aaliyah at all. Um, so when he does, he asks for Karina, who says, "Who's this?" And then Neve just hangs up, which is like, dude, come on. Really? Why'd you do that? So, Cammy then calls and says she's from Catfish, but the woman then hangs up suddenly. So, so they send a text instead, and wait to hear from either Jordan, Paula, or both. Um, the next day, Neve hasn't heard anything. back from Jordan or Paula, so they get Aaliyah back in the Zoom call, fill her in on what they found, and what they did. Afterwards, sorry, they then get a text from an unknown numbers to tell them they had informed Paula. So they look up the phone number and it's registered to Atlanta Hooper. So they find this Atlanta on Facebook with the picture of both her and Paula. So they text this Atlanta person, or who they assume is Atlanta. They jump into the Zoom. He says yes and gets in the call. It's Paula and says, well, my name's not Paula. My name is Neani. And she's not running the account. So she explains that Paula reached out to her after Nev and Kamie reach out to her, or reach out to this Paula account. In 2016, Naomi was told that there were fake accounts, and each time she would get one account deleted, another would pop up, and the person behind the account is named Raven, and Raven is going through a lot right now, which is a tale of its time, because since the beginning of the show, people always said, well, I've been going through a lot. Yeah, what we do, people are always going through a lot, and you don't see them going around catfishing people. So, yeah, anyway. So, Aaliyah is like, well, she's texting Nev and Kamie saying, well, I don't buy any of this. And we'll find out why she doesn't buy any of this. So Naomi says she will get in touch with Raven and leave. So she reaches out to Raven, and Raven wants to jump into the Zoom so they can send her. So they send her the link. Raven jumps in. She explains she is from Seattle, which is how she got a hold of Naomi's pictures. Leah still doesn't buy any of this. Because she feels like something's not right. So Raven's like, well, I was behind the Jordan account too, and all this stuff, and it was on me the whole time. So Aaliyah's like, well, I need to speak to Kamie and Nev alone. So they shove Raven to a separate Zoom call with just her in there, and Aaliyah explains the reason I don't believe that that Paula or Naomi isn't Paula, and that Paula is, or the reason why I believe that Naomi is Paula, and her real name is actually Paula, and that Raven isn't actually behind this entirely, is because I was told by Paula that we would meet face to face through the show. So she wanted me to write into the show and say, look, and then create this elaborate story. And she so she was under the impression that Paula was actually a real person and not this Naomi person. Like the girl in the picture says her name is really Paula, and she's actually in California, close to where I live, and all the stuff. And what we would do is we would meet through Zoom and stuff like that. And so that's why she didn't believe any of this stuff. And they're like, look, Raven manipulated you into writing into the show, and she isn't actually trying to change her life, like she claimed to Yanni. So they get really back into the call where everyone is in it, to confront her. And Leah is like, look, I exposed our plan, and I don't want a friendship after this because you essentially just just manipulated me and stuff like that. So um, Raven supposedly apologizes, and after all this, and um, after filming the episode, Raven claimed she shut down the last of the accounts. Um, I mean, whether she does or not, I don't know. I don't really believe it personally, but so yeah, I don't necessarily really believe that she shut this stuff down. I think she just said it to save face. Um, so yeah, uh, I I mean, I knew it was gonna be some bullshit though, because usually like I said, usually the ones um, that involve gay or lesbian people tend to be the messiest. Um, not to say that's not entertaining, but they tend to be the messiest, and they tend to be some some of the funniest. Um, so I didn't watch the previews for uh, next week's episode, but um, I'll still be back next week to talk about Catfish. Until then, I'll see you guys later.